Good morning guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Today is the first day of autumn of the year 2023 and we're about to set off in a week's time on a fantastic adventure back to Florida, USA. But before then, we'll spend our last day here doing a vlog around probably one of our favourite places in the UK, that being ZSL Whipsnade Zoo. So come and join us and let's see what the animals are doing. One of our free roaming Maras just sunning himself or herself. Very much like a hare. Hey, look at the stunning flamingos. There's a few youngsters in there. You can tell pretty much by the pigment colours orientation. The younger ones will be a lot lighter, so you see the two that are very much almost albino in appearance. They haven't got their coloration from eating the food, the plantation, which actually gives them their colour. And I believe that's a crane to the right hand side. A few ducks in there as well. Obviously, like other breeds, there must be different subspecies because these ones here are significantly smaller than those in Florida. The ones that we'll approach around the park at SeaWorld can be as much as 6 foot tall. They actually walk around the park. It's quite quirky that they stand on one leg. I think they actually sleep like that as well. Very graceful, very beautiful looking. And the eye-catching colour really stands out with the pond. These guys here appear to be a bit tentative and on edge. Their ears propping up, obviously because of the noise of the generator to the side, but it's more what's to the right hand side of them, which is what they would predominantly worry about, because one of the larger of your big cat family is out and about. So let's go and have a look at him. So there you have a cheetah, the fastest of your big cat family. I believe that's 65 mile an hour they can run. There are two, maybe three of them in there. I know there's one to the side. We'll try and get a close up of them in a minute. But they're just chilling out in the sun. There's two more here, sort of basically chilling out. I believe they're probably the offspring. They have a pretty intense breeding program here, and then they try and get them back into the wild. But yeah, they're very majestic, very elegant the way that they slowly walk around, and when they get a pace going, you are not going to catch them. But they would certainly catch you if you was on their menu. Beautiful markings and coloration on them. That is not a log in there, that is actually Tarpon, who is an 18-year-old pygmy hippo. He might come up for a breath now and again, but pretty much will stay close to the bottom of the water's edge. But his bigger cousin relatives, namely Lola, will be out the back, and they are your common hippos. I think there's Hoda as well. Let's go see and find them. We cannot truly get an half decent close-up of Lola and Hoda, but that is them up there, getting themselves probably a bit of last autumn sun before the temperature starts to drop. Then I suppose they will predominantly keep themselves indoors in their little pool area, but they do use this area down here to bathe in. Yeah, obviously they're sunning themselves, so they're not going to come down here at this moment in time, but this is a pool that they will frequent quite often. ends up being a bit like a hippo soup, and as you can see, they leave their droppings in it. Luckily enough, we don't have the smell that goes with them usually, because it can certainly get a bit whiffy. The backside, not of water, that'll be coming soon enough, but the backside of hippos. So it's a shame that the fence blocks them out a bit. We actually call these creatures lie downs, because that's pretty much what they do for 23 hours of the day. That is of course your Savannah African lion over there, or lioness. There's 2 of those plus a new male. Actually, as I get closer to them, it's both the females having a bit of a cuddle, keeping their body heat together. That is their enclosure. They've been here for a good maybe 3 months now. Got used to their habitat. This is what you get with lions. They're probably active for about an hour, maybe 2 hours at most. Generally when there's food about, or last thing at night, first thing in the morning, you might hear the call. Apart from that, this is their existence, sleep. We are not getting much activity out of those guys today. This rather large enclosure holds these quirky characters. This is the extended meerkat enclosure. They used to have a little pen area over the back there. Now they've got this entire area to play around with. Usually you will find, like you see, one on lookout on the top there, and the rest they go about their business. And then he or she will go down, and it'll be someone else's turn. It might just appear like they're sunning themselves. It's actually taking turns as being a lookout. Hello there. Be careful, because they might try and sell your car insurance. In all the years of coming here, I believe that that was a listed building. It's the old sea lion inhabitants. Used to have maybe 5 of them there. They've all moved on to the Yorkshire Wildlife Park, the one that's got the polar bears, and that's obsolete for probably a good couple of years now, and I have been promising to do something with it. So obviously I can see from here they're demolishing it, and that area will soon be a habitat for something else. Be interesting to follow along, see what's happening. We'll certainly have to use the camera's focus today to see the elephants. They're in a secondary, possibly thirdary paddock over there. Probably letting this one get some more growth to it. With the rain we've had recently, it's churned up rather nastily, and they don't want to see these precious animals trip, have a fall, etc., and hurt themselves. So they'll confine themselves there for maybe a couple of days, give this a chance to settle down a bit, and then they'll be allowed to come back out here again. It's all for their safety, I assure you. Camera's right at the end of its limit here. You can still see them in focus, and that's the main thing. Could not come here today for the last time before probably the end of autumn. Well, no, not quite, maybe middle autumn, end of October time, before we get back from America. Little baby Nangaby in there somewhere. It's her mum, Donna, Gran Karishma. Auntie Luca, they'll all be in this field here. So I'm sure she will be running amok in there somewhere. There we go, there's little Nang right in the far corner there. Probably talking to her father, which is the solitary male elephant, which keeps himself to himself in the pen behind the back there. They get to an age where they become sexually mature and they can become overly aggressive, not towards their own breed but towards us, so they will not keep them pretty much within the contact of humans. If we get to do Kilimanjaro safaris at Disney's Animal Kingdom, it will be these guys, or ladies should I say, cousins, the distant relatives of the African elephant. Distinctive differences is purely down to size. Their trunk has a different look and appearance to it, and their ears. The African elephants have larger ears, and the actual ear shape of them is shaped like Africa itself. But apart from that, they are the same breed, just as graceful. They kind of use like a sonar and a really weird sort of communication technique. We could probably not hear half of their language because it's out of our spectrum of what our hearing will hear. But I dare say they're all still 100% communicating with each other as I'm standing looking at them. And we should leave these guys to do their elephant shuffle, which is a little party trick. They move their front pad. Elephants have pads, not hooves, etc. They have a large set of pads, and they'll move that grass, the cud, from side to side with their foot, as you can see there. Then they'll rip it up with their trunk and consume it. Just a final look, as you can see the big male in the background with his huge set of tusks. There you go. What a beauty. And obviously forever safe here. No harm will come to him. Let them have their little beautiful moment there. Your Asian or black rhino, as some say there. Very timid creature. They will charge if they feel threatened, and they always have that appearance of like armour plating over their backs and their bodies. Generally a very docile and timid creature. I believe you have a series of species here. We've obviously got the white rhinos, the black rhinos, and the greater one-horned. Does seem crazy that I remember these guys when they were tiny little calves. Beautiful blue eyes when they're born. Very prehistoric looking, almost Triceratops-ish. Again, nice large paddock areas, sometimes They like to keep, I believe this is the male over here, they like to keep him away from the females, and all hell breaks loose if he does get in with them, even though he might predominantly just want to sit in one of these bathing pools here. He can be a bit of a sod, to be honest with you. So when that happens, they clear out all the people from the area and try and usher him away from everybody. We have a nice bridge observation post area just up here that we can have a look down into the pens. Here we go, that's the fellow we were just looking at. And I believe, if I'm right, that is his mum to the left. Obviously they get through the back of the paddock and join up. No need for you to think about, oh, they're separated by bars. Both of these paddock areas that are bricked up lead to the same compound at the back. So if they want to get together, they're free to do so. I'll walk around and show you. So this is the paddock at the back. Both of the exits lead out into this area, so if they want to play together, they can come and explore this little bit. There's ponds and little things to keep them active. Drum over there, they'll probably smother that in some form of perhaps honey, peanut butter, something sweet, something that they'd like. Kind of a member of your pig family. These are your warty hogs, or warty pigs as they call them. Snuffling around looking for some food. The last of what would have been your 3 tiger cubs here. Before then, I remember his father, I managed to get up here and do a photo shoot with him one day in the snow, and the only person who managed to make it up here. But from them come 3 cubs. Not sure the name of this one. One was Dimitri. That could be Dimitri even now. And what happens is, tigers, believe it or not, are a very volatile creature. They'll come to an age, they become sexually mature, they'll move on the rest of the siblings and the mother and father. They will rule the roost here, and another mate will come in and the circle of life will continue. But we ain't getting much activity out of him today because he is fast asleep. The tiniest of tails there sticking out the back. That will be one of your red panda cubs. This is Red Panda Island. I believe there's about 4 or 5 of them now. Look at that face. How cute is that? And that is your red panda. Obviously come out for a bite of eat, or bite to eat should I say. Same as your giant pandas. They love their bamboo. I believe it might be eucalyptus as well that they might like. But very, very strong climbers. You'll find them right in the top of these trees. Over here in this paddock you have your large oxen type creature. These are a gore, largest of the cow family. If I focus in on the guys in the shed up there, you should see a very distinctive cow-like face. You should just about make out the distinctive nose of a cow there. Predominantly found in Asian countries. Usually pull in a cart. Go over to an area now that used to house Melka, who was a huge bull moose, and he fathered maybe 4, possibly 6 calves here. They've since moved on a long time ago, and this now houses a grazed zebra, or zebra if you're American. All in your pronunciations. Wonderful looking beast. There is, of course, around the back of where the lion enclosure is, a young calf which could be as little as 6 weeks old. I was around there about half an hour to an hour ago, and the area was closed off while I was cleaning a pen. Distinctive stripes, and they've got a really weird high pitch tone that they squeak in. Your majestic giraffes having a bite to eat out there. Pretty much they like to chew branches, a substance which is called lichen, which is like a moss that grows on them. Very much similar to what caribou eat. I believe that is young Wilfred over there coming into view. He must be coming up to possibly, is it a year old now? Started off as a lovely day, but the weather's starting to draw in a bit now. My mistake, that wasn't Wilfred to the left over there. That's young Wilfred there, who's joined his mum by the eating area at the back there. Probably stands a good, possibly 10-11 feet high now. Will grow up to probably be about 16 feet. And as I've said many times in the past, when they're born, they look like cuddly toys. Your African wild dogs having a bite to eat. It appears like this one will have to take its turn. As I said before, it's an alpha situation, so they will have to wait while the one to my left consumes his food, and then they get to go after. Hey. Yeah. Back. Wait, what? That's great. That was getting closer to the so I'm trying to get some. It's trying to be coy though. It's getting a tad blowy out the far end of the park, but any excuse to make our way over here to see on what is Rhino Appreciation Day your white rhinos, and these guys are huge. We pretty much have a paddock full of them. There's 3 over there and there's a further 4 here. He said you have to forgive the wind blowing through, we're pretty much exposed here. With all the mud over him, that one looks like he's got a black eye. I assure you it's just the mud they've been wallowing in. Wonder whether they sense that there could be rain about to happen. Again, like their distant cousins, the Asian rhinos, or great one-horned rhinos, are very timid. They were charged to let you know that they're here. Very difficult to tell now which one would be baby Nandy, unless of course Nandy's to the side, possibly in the paddock area. Was originally a lot smaller than these guys, but that's nature for you. Animals tend to grow. Otters out exploring, the 2 youngest being Peanut and Pistachio. They're probably nesting. Here we have one of your, I believe it's 4 now, Eurasian brown bears. You have your original one of the 3, which is Cinderella. Obviously tragic deaths of her sisters, which occurred here a good probably 3 years ago now, maybe 4. And it's now been joined by a further 3 younger bears. They are certainly growing, got some bulk about them. They don't truly hibernate because the food is plentiful, whereas in the wild they'd probably be feeding up now, and as we get out of autumn into winter they would go into almost like a hibernation. The claws on these beasts would be the size of your fingers. One swipe and it'd probably decapitate you. Although they generally don't want to pick an argument, they'll usually make themselves stand tall and big to frighten off any other predators, including man, that they would attack if they needed to. Whereas a black bear sees you as part of the food chain. Reminds me pretty much of the advert, the Twix advert going about, and the bears turning around and saying that we're chewy, crunchy and delicious. Some of our ancestors over there, the chimpanzees. It's pretty much like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil in real life over there. This is for you, Adventures of Paul. I know how much you love them. Actually, Paul, that could be you in a suit. Right, that is going to do it for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. It was just a relaxing walk around, see our animal friends. Next week is an absolutely huge one for us. Where are we going?
Orlando!
Yeah, we're going back home. So it's 18 nights. We'll start with a pre-travel day vlog from Heathrow. Turn around and tell you about what we're going to be doing, how I vlog, etc. Introduce myself and mates to those of you who don't know us. And we will go from there, and we will have a fantastic time, and you're going to be with us every step of the way. That's the idea, so it makes you feel as if you're standing by the side of us. No, it's not quite the same, but hopefully it comes across well, as long as it all pans out. It's difficult to turn around and say the weather's unpredictable, things happen, things change, but we have a pretty good idea of what we plan to do, and hopefully it will come together. And with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you in the movies. Bye for now.